Hello everyone and welcome to Go Learning. Today we will discuss the topic waste problem in India and the means to reduce it. Recently, one of my friends was thrilled to be moving into a new house. It was a place where she had rainwater harvesting and grey water recycling facilities. She was keen to start recycling so that she would be responsible for less waste filling up the landfills. One day, her portable radio's batteries died and she was wondering in which bin she should put the batteries. Just then, her cat also pooped and she wondered if cat poop gets composted. We all need to understand, not all of them can be sorted out by recycling, but recycling can help to some extent. Let us see the waste generated in our houses. We have food peels, food packaging, courier and candy wrappers, leftover food, old electronics, such as batteries and cords. All this stuff takes time to break down. Here's a timeline. Imagine a glass bottle takes 1 million years. Tin cans can last for 50 years. Apple core for 2 months. Newspaper for 6 weeks. Now that you know what your household trash looks like, multiply that by everyone who lives in your building, your school, your area. Then think about hospitals, factories, shopping complexes. How much waste is being generated? Do you know every year we generate 42 million tons of waste? The world is chucking 2 billion tons every day, and we need more and more land to dump this trash somewhere. In our country itself, the city of Delhi generates some 8,000 metric tons every day. If you are sitting back and saying, "Oh great, I don't live in Delhi," then you need to understand some 72% waste is generated by the other big cities in India. According to World Bank, worldwide 3 billion urban residents generate 1.2 kg municipal solid waste per person per day. India may not be among the top waste generators, but our waste generation is expected to triple by 2025, which means we do need to spruce up our waste management system. Now let us see an example. When did you last fill your pen? Or did you use and throw it away after it stopped working? Pens are cheaper. That means it's easier to buy a new one, and there are so many cool pens in the market, isn't it? An average ball pen is made up of plastic or metal with a plastic refill, all of which are difficult to recycle. According to a study, the Indian market for writing pens is 1600 to 2400 million pieces per year. Imagine the number of pens we use every year. If you were to stay on the conservative side, we are using approximately 44 lakhs pens per day. And at least 70% of the pen sales in India is that of ballpoint ones. Just imagine a landfill full of mountains of pens, and this is just one example of a tiny pen. Have you ever seen a cow rotting about in garbage? Chances are that she will end up eating plastic from the garbage and it will stay in her stomach, ultimately killing her. And plastic also chokes up marine life and other animals and birds. And it's not just land that's becoming a dustbin. Fancy a swim in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Can you? The chemicals in the plastic break down over time and can be dangerous for aquatic life. The biggest trash vortex is in the Great Pacific. It is roughly twice the size of Texas, but there are trash vortexes in the Indian and Atlantic Oceans as well. The United Nations Environment Program estimated 18,000 pieces of floating plastic in every square kilometer of the ocean, and that was around some 10-15 years back. Isn't this alarming? But there's plenty that we can do to stop this. Start by working on the 4 R's. Yes, the 4 R's. Till now we were of the assumption it's reduce, recycle and reuse. But there's one more R that we need to add, and that is refuse and reconsider. See this example. When fruits and vegetables get old, they start to rot. When animals and plants rot, they become humus, which is good for the soil. That's nature's very own recycling plant where she makes sure nothing goes to waste. Do you always eat when you're hungry? No. Right? Unlike us, animals only eat when they are hungry. For example, the tiger, who is a predator, once he is done with the hyenas and vultures, eat the rest of the carcass. They are called scavengers. Then the bacteria and fungi take over to break it down completely. In the forest itself, the leaves of the trees fall down in the soil. Microorganisms take over, such as bacteria, fungi, algae and plankton. They help decompose matter and turn it back into soil. See, this is nature's zero waste cycle. Now, let us get back to our waste issue. You need to understand, like my friend, that you have to sort out garbage. Segregation at home means it won't get mixed up in the landfills and contaminate water or release methane. It also helps rag pickers who otherwise sort the trash by hand and face health hazards. Let us consider the example of Tetra Pak. When you are done with your juice carton, you bin it. Then it goes for recycling. The bundles, they are put into a pulp machine with water and converted into pulp. Recycling starts with separating the paper from the plastic and aluminium. Paper can then get recycled into other products. Plastic and aluminium can be recycled to create roof tiles, pots and even furniture. Do you know in Europe in 2007, 33% of all drink cartons were used to generate electricity. To reduce this problem, we all can do simple things. Garbage is everyone's problem. Get your hands dirty and clean it up. Don't buy a bottle of water when you go out. Go for eco-friendly handmade soap which won't have harmful chemicals. Things like setting up composting in schools or throwing a zero waste birthday party will really help. We all are aware about it. Have you ever bought a book or toy from a website? How was it packed? A friend of mine got a slim picture book inside a giant box of 15 by 15 inches along with tons of bubble wrap. Such a waste of bubble wrap, given it could have come in a simple envelope. Reconsider your choices. Instead of a plastic or a thermocol plate, get one that's made out of dried leaves, or use a plate that you can wash it. Now let us see the example of one of our European countries, Sweden. Sweden recycles 47% of its waste and 52% is used to generate heat in some 950,000 houses. Less than 1% garbage ends up in the landfill. In fact, they are so good at recycling that they are considering importing waste from other countries for their energy requirement. Great, isn't it? Now, who doesn't like smartphones? Can we imagine our life without them? And worst, our manufacturers, they make their gadgets obsolete by adding upgrades and make you throw them away because they have gone so slow, or change the chargers or something so that you can't reuse them. That's bad, isn't it? Have you ever considered what does a gorilla and a gadget have in common? Except that the fact that their names start with a G. Just imagine that you are a gorilla in East Congo. You are smart. You have great tracts of forest land to chill you. You can climb like trees. And a gorilla, you don't use smartphones. You have better things to do with your time, such as pounding your chest, munching on fruits, and mostly hanging about. But unfortunately, we humans do use smartphones. And do you know that gorillas and their family, they are losing their homes because of that gadget? Why? Because people are mining for coltan, short form for columbite tantalite, a metallic ore found in East Congo. Coltan is an important part of cell phone, laptops and other gadgets because when it is refined, it gets transformed into tantalum, which is heat resistant and stores energy. In the Kahuzi-Bega National Park, gorilla populations have almost halved because forest land have been cleared for mining. How much does a grown-up pay for a cell phone? Ask them, it may be around 25,000 to 50,000 rupees. Now that phone can't work without coltan, yet miners who mine coltan get paid poorly. It's also often smuggled from Congo, and the profit from it helps fuel war by neighboring countries. Isn't that sad? Yes. This all information and explanation was to give an idea of the waste problem at micro and macro level. We all have to understand that not just recycling, reusing or reducing, but we have to learn how to refuse and reconsider also. It's high time our future generations can enjoy the beautiful nature. Thanks for watching. Go Learning.